My name is Anna and I'm 34 years old. So I had my baby, he was 3.7 kilos, he looked great, he looked lovely. I was like, has he got any feet coming out of his back or anything like weird to worry about? They said, no, he's fine. 5 toes, 5 fingers. And it was about 4 hours after Oliver had been born, my family had left. And I just couldn't, I was like, something's just not sitting right. Like, the thing is, I didn't believe that something was wrong, but I was like, I can't ignore this feeling, but I was like, it's probably nothing, it's probably nothing. These 2 midwives, they were looking at him. I was sitting there and I was just waiting for them to kind of tell me that everything's okay. And then they just suddenly pressed the button, that big red button that you're like, hope is never going to be pressed. And they just scoop him up, take him and say, we've got to take your baby to neonatal intensive care. Really, yeah, I just kind of was on autopilot, I think, at that point, like in absolute shock. And then go down, walk into into the room, and there's my husband with this consultant, and they're looking at an x-ray of his lungs.
Within the neonatal unit, we had basically a button push, and they started doing the checks, only to find out that he had GBS.
And yeah, so she says, oh, he's got a collapsed lung because he's got pneumonia. We think it's GBS. And she gave me a leaflet, and then she said, there's your baby. And I was like, okay. And actually at that point I didn't cry. I just saw my baby covered in tubes in an incubator. I can't touch him. I've seen my husband's upset, so I'm like, okay, I've got to, yeah, like I said, be strong, and we just have to, well, actually, I thought to myself, I need to contact someone. Who can I call to ask them to go to my house to clear it out, because there's obviously a chance that I'm not coming home with my baby. I can't come home to my baby ready house. Honestly, the whole time I was convinced I'm not going to come home with a baby. I was just like, I'm not, or he's just going to be seriously brain damaged, and it's going to be really hard. We were in hospital for a week in total. If I'd have not pushed in that first moment to say something's wrong, and literally just followed my gut, like knowing nothing, I didn't know what I was looking for, then he would have died. I'd never heard of group B strep before. All I'd heard of was this infection that you can get with your waters, and then I got a leaflet. My mum found out about the group B support charity, and I think she reached out to you guys first, and she told me about it, and then I started to be like, okay, do you know what? Let's try and turn this awful experience into something that's gonna help other people. I've got a child who is mad, but healthy. I've got 2 boys. My oldest is called Oliver. He's 4 years old. He'll actually be turning 5 in 2 days' time. And I have another son who's 2 years old. His name's Leo, and he is going to turn 3 in August. And they're both very happy, crazy, wild boys. Me, Olly, Leo, Romek, our family, would love for you to share this video. If you're pregnant, if you know someone who's pregnant, even if you're not and you don't know, they might know someone, so share it, please. Share this video on your social media so it can just go as wide as possible, because this is really an amazing cause and something that does really need to be sort of spoken about and known about.